Right. The first part is completed. The testing of hypothesis we discussed in the previous class regarding the 5 steps. That 5 steps will be asked in the examination point of view for your student. Okay. And that 5 steps are most important while we are dealing the problems in this chapter. Or these 5 steps are we have to remember compulsory. Okay. The next one, estimation. Okay. When data are collected by sampling from a population, the most important objective of statistical analysis is to draw inferences or generalization about the population from the information carried in the sample. Statistical estimation is concerned with the methods by which population characteristics are estimated from a sample information. Okay, here estimation is nothing but here when from the population the sampling is collected. Okay, based on the sample only we are going to estimate the whole population. Okay, based on the sample only the whole population will be treated, that this complete population people they are suffering from so and so disease, they are lacking a funds, they have not have sufficient finance. Okay, in this way we will discuss and we come to the decision. Okay, that is the reason only nowadays you observe the number of governments they are launching different types of schemes and programs like Kalyan Lakshmi, Shadi Mubarak. Okay, what is the situation on ground, what is happening? Based on these sample information only they will take that type of decision. Then in this estimation we will know such information. Okay, then here it may be pointed out that the true value of parameter is unknown constant that can be correctly ascertained only by exhaustive, a detailed study of the population statistical estimation procedure provide with the mean of obtaining estimation of population with the desired degrees of precision. The following two types of estimate are possible. Okay, you observe carefully nowadays in summer season or any season the central government people they will come to your house to know the complete data. Okay, how many members are staying and how many members are employed persons are there in your family. Okay, what is your financial position? Okay, based on these parameter the unknown things will be known to them, and these the detailed information we call it as exact information is sent to the government. Based on these information they will sanction a budget and they will launch good programs. Okay, and immediately here the estimation is of two types here. The first one is here point estimate, and interval estimate. Here what is point estimate and what is interval estimate we will see here. So point estimate is nothing but here a single number which is used an estimate of unknown population parameter. Here point estimate, here it is certain point we will fix, like NSSO, National Sample Survey of India is there, and here census population will be there, and how many members nowadays this COVID-19 situation, how many members have vaccinated, okay, the first dose and the second dose, and what is the present situation. The health department is observing these type of things here. So here point estimate says that here it is certain point. Okay, the unknown population parameter will be estimated at a certain point. If we reach this point, then immediately complete the unlock will be there, and total schools, colleges, universities will be need to start the, okay, for physical classes. That point estimate, that point we did not reach till now. That is the reason only the government is not a position to take that decision here. Okay, then interval estimate. Interval estimation of a population parameter is a statement of two values between which is estimated that parameter leaves, and interval estimate would always be satisfied and specified by two values such as lower value and higher value here. Okay, in interval estimate here what happens, higher value as well as lower values will be given, between that, okay, the estimation will be done on the population parameter. Okay, that statement always says that it is a interval estimate. Then next, in more technical terms, interval estimation refers to the estimation of parameter by random intervals is called as confidence intervals. Confidence intervals we call it as in technical terms here. Okay, then the next one is here properties of a good estimator. From examination point of view, in the examination point of view these points are repeated, so you observe carefully. Properties of a good estimator. Okay, For a good estimator, these are the 4 properties he should possess. Then only we can say he is a good estimator here. So the following are the properties or the characteristics of a good estimator. The number 1 is unbiasedness, consistency, efficiency, sufficiency. Okay, here these are the few points. Okay, unbiasedness means here already we discussed that a coin is a unbiased coin. Okay, tossing a coin is a unbiased. We know that coin is unbiased. That is the reason here favorable answers never we expect. We expect unfavorable answers only. We expect in unbiasedness here. Okay, the next one is there consistency. Consistency is nothing but here the quality of always behaving in the same way or having the same opinion standard here. Okay, consistency is most important. At the time of interview, the panel members always they should possess these type of qualities. That is called consistency. Consistency is nothing but here the quality of behaving in the same way. Okay, here when the examiner, the panel members, they are interviewing the interviewer. Okay, the person who is in the chair, they will ask different types of questions, and the same preference will be given to all the genders and all the categories people. Okay, then it is called as a consistency here, having the same opinion. Okay, having the same opinion. Then finally here what happens here, a quality product, the quality officer will be come to the society and serve the society in a proper way. That is called consistency. Then efficiency. Efficiency nothing but here the quality of doing well with no waste of time or money. Efficiency always is that doing good things with no waste of time as well as money. Okay, the available resource will be used in a proper way, in useful manner, in productive manner, we can say productive manner. Sometimes what happens, you observe a number of organizations or number of institutions, the most of the time will be consumed, but finally the result will be negative. Okay, these things are happens because it as inefficiency. Okay, if it is a efficiency situation here, what happens, having good qualities, doing well with no waste of time and no waste of money, it is called efficiency. Then next one is a sufficiency. What is sufficiency? Sufficiency means here a sufficient knowledge is required for a good estimator. Okay, suppose in any organization the top level always they are in a position to handle all the situation. They should have a sufficient qualities, sufficient knowledge. Then only when the inferiors, okay, when the subordinates they are absent in the organization, they are not in a position to handle that situation, then these type of situation, the topmost the top level management, they should be in a position. Okay, that is called as sufficiency. So these are the 4 properties of a good estimator. A good estimator requires these are the 4 characteristics. Okay, these type of questions also are asked in the examination point of view. Please note down this one. Okay, so now we are entering into the problematic part here. Okay, so listen here, types of test significance here, testing significance, we can say here types of testing significance. The following are the various situations or types of different test of significance here. Okay, these are the 3 methods we are going to discuss in this chapter. Okay, we are going to discuss in this chapter. These are the 3 important topics. The first one is here, test of significance for attributes, test of significance for variables, large samples, test of significance for variables, small samples. Okay, these 3 things are the problematic point of view from sampling and testing of hypothesis here. Okay, then here the first one is what, test of significance for attributes. The next one is test of significance for variables, large samples, test of significance for variables, small samples. Okay, so here the first topic is, that is test of significance for attributes. Okay, the various tested significance for attributes are discussed under the following heads. Again, these test of significance for attributes, it is divided into three parts. Again it is divided into three parts. Okay, again we have the, it is subdivided into three parts. The first one is test for number of success, test for proportion of success, test for difference between proportion or proportions, we can say difference between proportions here. Okay, these are the, in the first method, the three methods are, again it is divided into three methods. So we will discuss the first one, test for number of success. Okay, the test for number of success, the first one, first topic, the first method. In the first method we have three topics. The first topic we are going to discuss here, the sampling distribution of number of success follows a binomial probability distribution, hence its standard error is given by the following formula. Okay, the formula is there in this way, standard error of number of success is equals to under root npq, n into p into q. Okay, here in the these information binomial probability distribution, it is clearly given. So here p stands for, okay, 1 by 2 and q stands for 1 by 2. Okay, you have to remember this one. N stands for number of observations or number of samples are given here. Okay, or size of samples. P stands for probability of success and q stands for probability of failure. Okay, probability of failure. To know the q value, the simple technique is here 1 minus p. 1 minus p, that is probability of failure. Okay, this is a first formula. See, again this test for number of success, we have the formula number 1. This is the number 1. To know the differences here, this is a formula number 2. At the time of calculated value, while we are calculating the calculated value, this formula will be considered, and this formula also important here. Okay, so here standard error is equal to difference divided by standard error number of success. Okay, standard error number of success, you have to write here. Number of success. Okay, so we will start the problematic part in the first topic, was first method, first one here. The downside, you observe the question. Right. Okay, listen here. Problem number 1 here. A coin was tossed 400 times. We observe the question carefully. Coin was tossed 400 times. Head turned up 216 times. Test the hypothesis that coin is unbiased. Okay, only the coin information, head information is given, that a coin is tossed 400 times, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, so on, for number 400th time. Then here the result of head is here 216 times is there. Test the hypothesis that coin is unbiased. Whether coin is biased or unbiased, we have to write that conclusion. Okay, this is one thing. Then another important thing is here, in the given question, 5% LOS is not given, 1% LOS is not given. So we have to consider that 5% LOS is there. We have to assume that it is the 5% LOS only. Okay, then here simply the critical value Z value is 1.96 is the Z value at 5% LOS. So you have to remember, when from this chapter any question is there in examination paper, then immediately you have to remember 5% LOS and 1% LOS critical values, that is 1.96 and 2.58 at 5% and at 1%. So simply solution, you observe the solution here. Okay, first step is here, setting hypothesis. Okay, setting hypothesis. Okay, setting hypothesis. The first one what we are doing here, a null hypothesis that H naught mu is equals to H naught, chi is unbiased. In this way we have to write. Okay, while we are solving the problem here, in this way we have to write setting hypothesis, that is a step number 1. Okay, null hypothesis H naught mu is equals to H naught, chi is unbiased. The next alternative hypothesis HA mu is not equal to HA. Mu is not equal to HA. See, these two things are important here. Okay, if you want to write chi is unbiased, then you write, otherwise no need to write. Okay, that is up to you. And rejected also, this point, this word also no need to mention here. Simply write, you write null hypothesis H naught mu is equals to H naught up to this. Then alternate hypothesis HA mu is not equal to HA. Okay, the first step is completed here. Step number setting hypothesis completed. Then immediately setting a suitable significance level. Okay, setting a suitable significance level. Here in setting a suitable significance level, okay, what we have to do here, A and B, this is a basic question. That is the reason I have written two steps here, A and B. In the given question, 5% is not given and 1% is also not given. So what we have to do, we have to write, and we have to assume that it is 5%. At 5% significance level, okay, see, at 5% significance level, 95% is the confidence level, that is 1.96 is the critical value. 1.96 is the critical value here. Okay, again the second one B is that here at 1% significance level, that is 99% confidence level, 2.58 is the, okay, 2.58 is the critical value. Okay, but this is a basic question, that is the reason I am writing here. Please all of you mute, little bit disturbance is coming from your side. Okay, then after completion of this step number 2, go for step number 3. I think till here you understood step number 1 and step number 2. The next one is a step number 3. Test criterion. Okay, step number 3 is a test criterion. Okay, simply what we are doing, we are writing here the formula only. Standard error of number of success is equals to under root NPQ. Under root NPQ. Then next one, N stands for size of samples, P stands for probability of success, Q stands for 1 minus P, that is probability of failure. Okay, probability of failure. Then immediately what we are going, next what we have to do, write another formula also. Okay, you see this formula, you have to write here also this formula. The second one is, that is the standard error is equals to difference divided by standard error number of success. Okay, then next immediately doing calculation. Step number 1 is completed, step number 2 is completed, then step number 3 also completed, then step number 4. So what we are doing in step number 4 here, what we are doing here, see, when a coin is unbiased, when a coin is unbiased, the probability of success means equal to tails, this is 1/2, and the total sample mean is 200 times heads and 200 times tails. Okay, here this is a logical thing we have to concentrate once again. When kind is unbiased, the probability of success means equal to tails, that is 1/2. Okay, and mean sample means here, total sample means here 200 times heads and 200 times tails, that is 400 into 1/2. 400 into 1/2 is equals to 200. Okay, standard error number of success is equals to under root npq. Then n stands for 400, the kind is tasked for 400 times, and p is equals to 216 here. How many, what is the turn of heads here? 216, that is half value. You have to write in this way, half value. Okay, q is equals to 1 minus p. 1 minus 1/2 is equals to 1/2, and we got q value also. Then after getting all these values, simply we need to convert into the principle, that standard error number of success is equals to under root npq. Okay, simply what I am doing, see, n stands for 400, p stands for 1/2, again p stands for 1/2. Then simply when it is when it is done, square it here, we will get a under root 100, that is 10. The difference value is equals to 216. See, these values are the given question. 216 times the head is turned into heads, 200 times it is a failure. Okay, the difference is 16. Then immediately standard error is equals to, this is a calculated value. While we are doing calculated value, see, while we are doing the calculated value, standard error is equals to difference divided by standard error number of success. Standard error number of success, that is 16 divided by 10. Okay, 16 divided by 10, we got how much we will get? 1.6 here. Okay, 1.6 is the answer. Okay, this is a calculated value. Okay, once again you listen carefully here, doing calculation. When kind is unbiased, the probability of success means equal to tails, this is the 1/2. Okay, kind is unbiased, the kind is divided into 2. So immediately tossing a coin, we tossed the coin 400 times, but generally logically when you observe, equal tails and equal heads are there, but in experimental point of view, when the coin is tossed 400 times, we got 216 times heads we got. Then simply what we are doing, standard error number of success is equals to under root npq. N is equals to 400 and p is equals to 216. Okay, these 216 we have taken from the question itself only. This is the half value should be, it is 216 is treated as half value. Then immediately q is equals to 1 minus p, that is 1 minus 1/2, that is 1/2. When it is converted into the formula, here, okay, when it is converted into formula, standard error number of success is equals to under root npq, okay, is equals to under root 400 into n stands for 400 and p stands for 1/2 and q stands for 1/2. We got 10. Difference is equals to these values, it is there in the given question. And when the half value heads and half value tails is here, 200 is the half value tail, the difference is 16. What is the next formula immediately here? Difference divided by standard error number of success, that is 16 divided by 10 is equals to 1.6. This is the critical value. Okay, so the next one is, after doing calculation, what we have to do, we have to write the decision or comment or conclusion, that is up to you. Okay, the calculated value 1.6, this one. Okay, the calculated value 1.6 is less than the table value, or instead of using the word table value, you can write a critical value also of 1.96 at 5% significance level. Okay, this 5% is not given in the question. We have to assume that if 5% is not given or 1% is not given, we have to consider 1.96 is the Z critical value. Okay, 5% is significance level. Hence, the null hypothesis H naught will be accepted. There is a, okay, there can be there it is concluded. Okay, wait a minute. It can be concluded that the kind is unbiased. The kind is unbiased. In this way, we have to do the problem. So we have less time. In this way, we have to do the problem.